What is up, YouTube? Fury here, bringing you guys a brand new video. In today's video, we'll be talking about the first-person perspective in Fortnite. Is it something that Fortnite is going to be including into the game at some point in the near future? Now, as you guys know, H1Z1, PUBG all had a first-person mode. Either you can switch to it mid-game, or it was something that you had to choose before the game started. And I definitely think Fortnite should include this feature at some point, either in Season 6 or in the future seasons to come. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys what it looks like in Fortnite. Basically, it bugged for some players, and it actually showed what a first-person mode would look like in game. So I'm gonna be showing you guys a clip that was posted on Reddit, what it looks like in a first-person mode on Fortnite. So if you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new, don't forget to turn on those post notifications, and if you get first like on any of my videos, make sure you send me a Twitter image. I'll hit you guys back with that follow. And with that said, let's get right in today's video. If you guys are interested in winning some free V-Bucks, we are currently giving away 6,000 V-Bucks to you guys. All you gotta do to enter is like the video, subscribe if you aren't already, and turn on those post notifications, as well as follow the Gleam link in the description down below. There's going to be 6 winners, 1,000 V-Bucks each. Good luck to everyone. Now, there are a bunch of battle royale games out there that allow for a first-person mode. Now, again, PUBG is one where you can switch mid-game. You can end up choosing third-person, first-person, and you can just switch back and forth, which is a really cool concept. I definitely think Fortnite should include this at some point, just because there are some situations where obviously a third-person perspective doesn't really work too well. Now, the only thing that Fortnite doesn't really have that PUBG does is obviously the red dot sight and ACOG and scopes and stuff like that. So unfortunately, Fortnite does not have those, so being able to go first person for those isn't really necessary, and you really don't need the iron sights in Fortnite to be used to obviously kill people at longer distances. So again, there's some aspects of Fortnite that doesn't really need a first person mode, but just being able to have that option would be a really cool addition. Now, if you guys have played H1Z1, H1Z1 was one of those games where the only reason you'd switch to first person is if you're using the shotgun. Now again, the shotgun is really bugged in most battle royale games, so I could definitely see being a first person aspect in Fortnite just for the shotguns kind of be you know, a little bit more beneficial, just so you can hit those shots. Now, the only thing different with the shotguns in Fortnite and H1 shotguns don't really work. They're not really that powerful. Fortnite, again, if you do hit the headshot, you're obviously going to be doing a lot of damage. So again, being able to switch to first person in Fortnite just for the shotgun mode, I definitely think that'd be also a good idea, just so that you can make sure you hit those shots, especially if you do have the new double barrel shotgun. That thing is going to run through anybody. Even if you switch to first person, I think you'd be a little bit more accurate, you'd be doing a lot more damage. So seeing that come into the game could be a pretty beneficial thing. Now, like I said, it really wouldn't be that useful in Fortnite, just because the iron sights in Fortnite aren't really the best. If you take a look at the SCAR, the iron sights on that is not going to be that much help to anybody really. If you switch to first person, it takes up a lot of room and a lot of space, so being able to switch to first person for the SCAR might be not as beneficial. But again, for the shotguns, I definitely think that'd be a good you know, a good way to make sure you hit your shots with the shotgun, again, because that is going to be the most important part. Now, on screen, you guys will be seeing a short video. A user that goes by the name of Noodle Chief, he ended up posting this on Reddit. It basically was a bug where he got too close to the tree, and it ended up putting him into a first person aspect, which is a really cool look. Now, if you guys can see, it looks like he's holding it from a left-handed perspective, which is really cool. Now again, CSGO was one of those games where you could switch between you know, being right-handed and left-handed, and it definitely looks like a left-handed perspective from CSGO. So I definitely think it's a cool addition. Again, it's something different. We really haven't seen that in Fortnite. Now, the only thing you guys can see, I'm assuming it went to the left-handed perspective because again, you have the inventory that, you know, shows your weapons and your slots and stuff like that on the right-hand side. So again, if they did implement this into the game, they just have to be able to, you know, say if you switch from left-handed to right-handed, they'd have to also switch the inventory from the right to the left. So again, this is basically what it's going to look like in Fortnite if there were a first-person perspective. So as you guys can see, obviously the detail on the arms and stuff like that and the weapons aren't really the greatest for this first-person aspect. But again, there is no first-person perspective in Fortnite, so even just it switching to this is honestly not that bad for what it is. I'm assuming they did code it into the game where it does switch to first person. So again, it's possibly a, you know, coded in the game already, because again, if you do get too close to trees or the branches and stuff like that, it does switch to a first-person perspective. Technically, that is what it looks like here again. So it is coded into the game for it to switch to first person, but again, it's not really in the settings for you to actually switch it if you did want to. So I definitely think they should be able to, you know, implement that into a way, you know, a key on the keyboard or some way on the controller we can switch between third person and first person in game, you know, rather than doing it, say, in the settings or before the game starts. Now, I believe the only game mode that allows a first-person perspective in Fortnite is Save the World. I believe there is a setting for that in that game mode, but other than that, Battle Royale does not have this option. But hopefully we do start to see it in the near future if they do decide to implement it into the game. Now, I believe the main reason they haven't really implemented this perspective into the game yet is because the building. They really have not figured out a way possibly to make the building work in a first-person perspective. It'd be a little bit trippy to see. Obviously, if you are in a first-person perspective, you're obviously trying to build around you and you know, try to get away from these gunfights and stuff like that, but trying to build in a first-person perspective might not work as well as it does in the third person, just because you're able to see more around you and, you know, you can see what space you have to use. So I think that's the main reason there really isn't a first-person perspective in this game. But again, if they figured out a way to make the building look, you know, actually decent, make sure it works properly in first person, I definitely think they would implement it if they had the choice to, just because, again, it's just another option for them to you know, have other players try different things out. So I definitely think it'd be a good idea if they figured out a way to actually make this work in game. Now, what you guys seen in that video clip was the SCAR and obviously the new SMG first-person perspective. But again, you can jump into, say, theater mode or something like that. You can basically go up to your character and, you know, go free cam. You can go ahead and see all the different types of weapons if you want to see what all the other ones look like in a first-person perspective. But as you guys seen just from the video clip, the SCAR and the SMG, they obviously look pretty decent. They didn't really do that bad of a job making this first-person perspective, just for this third-person glitch that does happen when you get too close to objects. So it is really cool that they have implemented that into the game. They fixed it just so that if you do get this glitch, you can go ahead and still see who you're shooting at rather than getting, you know, distracted by the tree or the branches and stuff like that. Now, if a first-person perspective ended up coming into the game, I think it would open the doors for different crosshairs and custom crosshairs in the game. Now, I know I made a video on this previously, how that should be an option in the game. Now, I could see that coming in if there was a first-person perspective, because as you guys know, in CSGO, you can obviously switch what, you know, what perspective, either left-handed or right-handed. As well as that, you can code in what crosshairs you want to see. So again, in a first-person perspective, the crosshair becomes a little bit more important than it does in third person. But again, if that were to come into the game, I could see crosshairs being an option in the near future as well. Clearly, that'd be a little bit more relevant to PC players, just because you can code in what crosshairs you want. Rather, on console, you can't really do that. But if there were some custom ones that are already preset on console, that could also be an option. But again, on PC, you can actually type in, you know, the commands and stuff like that, what crosshairs you want, if they do take it from a CSGO type of perspective. Because again, CSGO, you can have the command open, you can type in all these commands, you can get different crosshairs and all that. So I could see that coming into Fortnite. But again, if they do decide to bring a first-person perspective, custom crosshairs might be also an option for them. But that'll basically do it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of a first-person perspective coming into Fortnite. Should it be an option for us? Should you be able to switch mid-game and all that? Let me know in the comment section down below. But that'll do it for today's video, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.